Are you aware how often you actually make assumptions on any given day? I really wasn't. I had no idea how much I assumed things until after I read about the third agreement, which is don't make assumptions, in the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. By the way, if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. I had never really taken the time to notice that many of my thoughts and the stories that I tell myself are based on assumptions. And this was a huge aha for me. And I want to break down this third agreement called Don't Make Assumptions for you so you can better understand why this is so important. In this episode, you'll learn what an assumption actually is, how making assumptions affect our daily lives, and one simple strategy that you can apply to help you stop making assumptions. We as women have powerful imaginations, and our creative minds are always thinking about something or creating another story. And many of these stories that we dream up are simply that, stories that hold absolutely no truth. And these stories are created in our minds as we imagine what others may be doing or what others may be thinking or what they may be saying about us. And they can be very powerful and believable. And many of these stories we dream up hold absolutely no truth and no proof, and yet we believe they are real and accept them as our truth. These are assumptions. Have you ever been in the middle of a text conversation with someone and you're telling them about something that's going on with you and being really vulnerable in the text, and then you don't get a reply back? Can you relate to what I'm talking about? And then your mind starts racing and you start making up stories as to why they haven't texted back. And you're thinking, maybe I was too vulnerable, or maybe they think I'm oversharing, or I wish I could take that text back, and maybe I should send another text to follow up and cover up for whatever it was I previously texted. And your mind starts going in 10 different directions. If so, you are not alone. This is a common issue and is one example of how we begin making assumptions. What can happen with assumptions is that they tend to snowball. And one assumption can lead to another assumption, and before you know it, an entire story has been created. And then what happens is you tend to take these stories very personally. And these stories can affect your daily life in all sorts of ways, including increased stress and anxiety, lots of drama, blaming other people, blaming yourself, and expending lots of time and energy worrying. So you can see how assumptions can really affect you if you allow them to. Taking control of your thoughts is an important part of stopping yourself from making assumptions. And one simple and effective strategy that you can begin doing to stop making assumptions is to practice mindfulness daily. Simply noticing when certain thoughts arise is where your power lies. And once you notice the thought enter your mind and you begin to create a story around that thought, challenge your thought or challenge your story and ask yourself if that thought or that story holds any truth or is based on any facts. So rather than focusing all of your energy and ruminating about what you think the truth is, mindfulness will help you focus your attention on what is actually true. I am Lori Lander, Confidence Coach for Women, and I hope that you found value in today's episode. If making assumptions is getting the best of you and you're feeling that you need help working through this, feel free to email me at lori@lorilandercoaching.com. Wishing you a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you back here next week.